You've heard it everywhere. Your ex was gaslighting you, your boss, your mom. Somewhere in the last few years, gaslighting became the word for anyone who made you doubt yourself. And in 2022, it became so common that it was named Word of the Year. But here's the uncomfortable part. There's a good chance that what happened to you wasn't actually gaslighting. And the mix-up matters far more than it sounds. Because when a word means everything, it stops being able to protect the people it was built for. So let's get it right, not to be pedantic, but because naming your pain precisely is the first step to doing anything about it. Real gaslighting exists, and it's genuinely frightening, but it's a very specific thing. And once you see what it actually is, you'll be able to name what happened to you far more powerfully than the word everyone's using. Start with where the word comes from, because the origin is the definition. It comes from a 1938 play, later adapted into a film called Gaslight. In it, a husband slowly dims the gas lamps in the house, and every time his wife notices, he calmly insists that nothing has changed, that she's imagining it, night after night, not to win an argument, but to make her genuinely believe she's losing her mind. That's the key. Gaslighting was never about a single lie. It was about slowly redrawing someone's map of reality until they no longer trust their own eyes. A psychoanalyst named Robin Stern brought this idea into modern psychology through her work on what she called the gaslight effect. And her definition has 3 ingredients. Remember these, because they're the whole thing. First, it's deliberate. Second, it's sustained, a pattern over time, not a single moment. Third, the goal is to make you doubt your own reality, your memory, your perception, your sanity, not just to disagree with you. Slow, intentional, aimed at your grip on what's real. Now here's what that means. It isn't someone forgetting a conversation you clearly remember. That's not gaslighting. That's memory. Someone who genuinely recalls an event differently than you. That's not gaslighting. It's 2 imperfect brains. Someone who disagrees with your version of a fight, not gaslighting. Even someone who flat out lies to you once, painful, but not gaslighting. None of those are a calculated, long-term campaign to erase your reality. They can hurt, they can be wrong, but they're different things, and they have different names. And this is where calling everything gaslighting quietly costs you 2 things. The first is bigger than you. When someone spends 5 years being told, methodically, that they're crazy, until they can't trust a single thought, and that experience gets put in the same category as someone whose partner forgot their anniversary. The word loses its weight, and the people living through the real thing become harder to hear. But the second cost is personal, and it's yours. When you reach for gaslighting to describe what happened, you might be covering up the truer, more useful word underneath. Maybe it wasn't gaslighting. Maybe it was a lie. And the real issue is that you can't trust them. Maybe it was dismissiveness. They never took your feelings seriously. Maybe it was manipulation, without the reality erasing part. Or maybe it was simply 2 people who saw the world so differently that it kept breaking you. Each of those has a different exit, and you cannot walk out of a room you've labeled with the wrong name. So here's a filter you can actually use the next time you're about to say, "They're gaslighting me." Run it through Robin Stern's 3 questions. First, was it deliberate? Did they know they were distorting the truth? Second, was it a pattern, not a single moment? Third, Was the goal to make you doubt your own reality? Or were they just trying to win the argument, protect themselves, or avoid blame? If the answer is yes to all three, you may be dealing with the real thing, and that's serious. Take it seriously. But if it's not all three, then the truth is something else. And finding that something else is where your clarity and your way out actually begin. It's the same with the other words we've started throwing around. Narcissist is a specific clinical pattern found in maybe 1 in 100 people, not a label for anyone who's selfish or annoying. Trauma isn't every bad day. Triggered isn't every mild discomfort. None of this is about policing language. It's about something much simpler. The more precisely you can name what happened to you, the more precisely you can heal from it. Because here's the thing we get backwards. We think reaching for the biggest, most clinical word makes our pain more real. It doesn't. You don't need to inflate what happened to you for it to have counted. Sometimes the truer word, he lied. She dismissed me. That wasn't safe. It's smaller, plainer, and far more powerful because it points to an actual door. The clearer the word, the clearer the way out. So tell me in the comments, what's a psychology word you hear thrown around? Way too much? I might make it the next one. And if you know the habit of staying quiet and agreeable, just to keep the peace with someone who is actually manipulating you, that's not weakness. It has a name. And I made a whole video about it. I'll leave it right here. I'll see you in the next one.